Now on CoastTV News.
100 days highlighted. President Trump touts success on immigration and government waste as concerns about the economy continue.
OC upgrades ahead, the update from Maryland officials on improving Ocean City streets.
Stopping scams. We look at Bethany Beach's efforts in fighting back against fraud.
More warmth and wind for Delmarva today as temperatures top out near 80 degrees and the winds pick up. Above normal temperatures the rest of the week with rain chances increasing by Friday. Details coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
Did you miss me?
Of course we did.
Bob, you missed me?
Of course we did. But you had an amazing weekend in Cape May with your wife.
I gotta say, Cape May is awesome. We did the Cape May Lewis Ferry. Cape May was great. I just wish it was a little bit closer and you didn't have this big body of water to get there.
Well, you had a pretty good weekend. Saturday wasn't as rainy as we thought it was going to be, Bob.
Well, maybe we can build a highway from instead of the ferry. We can just build a highway over to Cape May and make it quicker. Welcome back, Matt, and good morning, Lisa. We are looking at temperatures that are a little warmer this morning than yesterday. We had upper 30s yesterday. Now it's upper 40s and lower 50s. Well, some mid 40s, I should say, around Willard's, 44 there, but 50 in Millsboro, 48 in Georgetown, 56 in Ocean City, 56 in Bethany Beach. As we do have a southwesterly breeze that's keeping us a little milder. And we have a bigger warm-up on the way today as we're looking at mostly clear skies right now, just some high clouds coming in, and that'll be the case as we go through the day. As high pressure is sliding offshore, we're getting into the return flow around that high. A southwesterly flow is setting up, so that will usher in much warmer air ahead of this cold front that is beginning to weaken, but that front will be headed our way midweek time period. So we're looking at temperatures this morning in the 40s and 50s with sunshine, mid-60s by 9 a.m., mid-70s by noon. Cooler at the coast, naturally, as the winds are picking up from the south and southwest, and they'll get gusty this afternoon, and temperatures into the upper 70s. And it is on the dry side, probably best not to burn until we get some appreciable rain. And then temperatures near 80 inland areas around 4 o'clock, but low to mid-60s at the beaches, and pretty breezy and mild into the evening hours. Day part forecast has those winds picking up today. It's a chilly start, but then we're into the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees later on, even warmer into tomorrow. And it looks like some much needed rain, not the best timing later in the week into the weekend. More on that coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
All right, thank you, Bob. And here is a live look now at Washington, D.C. President Trump is marking its 100th day in office with plans to highlight the incredible pace of implementing several key pieces of his agenda. That is our top story this half hour: immigration and government waste. Two of those areas.
As NBC's Alice Barr shows us, the president is taking his message to Michigan today.
President Trump today marking his 100th day in office with a rally in Michigan. As his sweeping tariffs hit the auto industry hard, Trump officials say the president is planning to reduce some fees on foreign auto parts for cars assembled in the U.S., while keeping tariffs on imported vehicles. That as just 39% of Americans approve of his tariff policies, according to a new NBC News Stay Tuned poll.
We're going to make a lot of money and we're going to cut taxes for the people of this country.
The president slamming recent polling as Democrats point to his approval rating overall underwater at 45%.
It's been 100 days of hell for American families.
The president gets higher ratings on immigration as the administration touts a 95% drop in illegal border crossings in March from the same time last year.
We are the most secure border in the history of this nation.
It's also defending against criticism over who it's targeting to remove from the country, including 3 U.S. citizen children sent to Honduras with their undocumented mothers, among them a 4-year-old boy who left without access to his cancer medications.
What we did is remove children with their mothers who requested the children depart with them. This was a parental decision.
A migrant rights group calls that completely untrue.
The moms did not feel that they had any choice in the matter. They were simply told that their U.S. citizen children were going with them.
President Trump pressing ahead with 3 new executive orders on immigration, including one cracking down on sanctuary cities. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
On Thursday, Ocean City will be holding its 35th annual Cruise in Ocean City event. And with thousands of fancy cars and even more people making their way to the town, a special event zone will be in place. Starting today until May 4th, all speed limits in Ocean City will be 30 miles an hour or lower, and you'll see more cops than usual. Ashley Miller, the Deputy Communications Manager for the Ocean City Police Department, says these rules have made a difference.
We still see the violations, but we are not seeing them to the same magnitude that we were back in 2020.
And the town says if you do end up getting pulled over, those fines will be bigger.
And this just in, we're expecting to learn more about road projects planned for Ocean City. Right now, we're tracking over 5 separate ones, including a bike and pedestrian study covering the area of 15th Street to 62nd Street, Ocean City Expressway's long-term needs, and a resurfacing plan from 60th Street to the Delaware State line. The Maryland State Highway Administration spring update is scheduled during this afternoon's Mayor and Council workshop.
Also happening at that workshop, we could get an update on boardwalk signage. According to the agenda, the Planning Community Development Director will present information on a design master plan. Officials will also discuss OC Bike Fest and a request for a bike rack dedication program. Today's workshop takes place at 1 p.m. at Town Hall.
Keeping your funds free from fraud in Bethany Beach. Today, the town's police department will host a seminar on how to protect yourself from scams. Overall, Delawareans are no stranger to scams and frauds. According to state officials, the #1 type of scam in Delaware is imposter scams, with over 2,000 reported in 2024. Today's program takes place at the South Coastal Public Library at 2 p.m.
New this morning, Delaware State Police will continue to investigate a shooting in Selbyville. Troopers say on Sunday night around 10 p.m., they responded to Siegel Road for reports of gunshots. According to the agency, a home on that street was shot at, but no one inside that home was hurt. Troopers say witnesses confirm 3 cars drove away after the sound of those gunshots.
Today, you can learn more about bike and pedestrian improvements in Georgetown. DelDOT will conduct a public workshop to explain proposed upgrades and also take in some feedback. The department says the session begins with an open house, also a time period to ask questions from project members. This takes place at 4:30 at the Georgetown Public Library.
In Salisbury, a road closure is coming to the town, but for a good reason. City officials say East Main Street will be closed for the Over the Edge for ALICE fundraiser. ALICE stands for Asset Limited Income Constrained Employed. Officials say 2 in 5 local households struggle with providing basic need. The road closure takes place May 2nd, starting at 6:30 a.m. And we're just getting started in this hour of CoastTV News today.
Yeah, coming up, plans for 5 points. We have the outcome of a gathering hosted by DelDOT with a focus on improving traffic flow and safety in that area.
And Senior Health Support will tell you what to expect at a senior health fair in Milford.
DHL gives more global options. Why the company is bringing back the increased shipping choices. All that and more as CoastTV News Today continues.
5:10 on this Tuesday morning, and we're looking at milder conditions out there. Here's a Bay Health cam in Dover right now, 54 degrees, so much milder than yesterday morning. As you see, 40s and low 50s as opposed to the 30s and 40s like we saw yesterday. So a milder start, still a little chilly out there in the mid 50s at the coast. Winds have swung around to the southwest. They'll be picking up today, and with breezy conditions and low humidity, we do have an elevated fire danger, so it's best not to burn until we get some steady rain, and we're not going to see that today. Mostly sunny skies and getting breezy into the afternoon and much warmer with a stronger southwesterly wind. There is some rain well to our west, but that system's going to dry out before it gets here. Dry and cool this morning for your drivecast. Looking good on the roads. Dry, good visibility and cool conditions. And then for the PM commute, we're looking at the green light there too from 4 to 6 p.m. with breezy and warmer conditions.
You're just mentioning the dry conditions happening Thursday in Delaware, those burn bans. According to state officials, the ban is in effect May 1st to September 30th. This means burning almost anything is just about prohibited. The Georgetown Fire Company says there are exceptions for grilling and campfires in designated areas. According to the company, the purpose of the bans are to prevent wildfires.
Looking ahead, BB says visitors can expect the parking garage at the main entrance of the Lewis campus to be closed this weekend. There's going to be some cleaning happening there, and if you are visiting, BB says you'll be able to find parking in the exterior lots around the campus. That parking garage will open back up after the weekend cleaning on Monday, May 5th in Lewis.
Yeah, and drivers in Georgetown can also expect a closure. This is at Deep Branch Road between Zoar Road and Peterkins Road. Starting next Monday, crews are replacing a crossroad pipe. Work should last until Friday, May 23rd.
The Transportation Security Administration has a new acting administrator. The position has been open since January when the Trump administration asked the former leader to leave. She previously served as TSA's chief of staff from 2017 to 2019 during the first Trump administration.
Global shipping company DHL says it will restart shipments worth more than $800 from businesses to consumers in the U.S. The resumption is effective immediately. Earlier this month, DHL temporarily suspended those shipments. The company said the move was due to a significant increase in red tape at customs following the introduction of President Trump's tariffs.
We're starting to see some hints of daylight on the Spicer Brothers camp in Salisbury. 47, not as cold this morning. In fact, a little milder, so great to see. But we are looking at more warmth and wind today. And as we mentioned, elevated fire danger. Near 80 today, low 80s expected Wednesday. And then above normal temperatures the rest of the week. Increasing rain chances later in the week, and I think spilling into the weekend. I'll have full forecast details coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 5:15, and we are getting a live look at the bright lights of Salisbury. And for this time of the morning, Bob, we do have some warm temperatures to talk about.
Yes, indeed, warmer, Matt. Yesterday morning at this time, we were in the upper 30s and lower 40s, and now we're almost a good 8 to 10 degrees warmer this morning than yesterday morning. A little cooler in Willards right now at 44, but the rest of us pretty much 40s and 50s, 50 in Millsboro, Redden a little cooler, 43, with 54 in Lewis, 55 in Rehoboth, and mid-50s from Bethany Beach down to Ocean City. The reason for the warmth is, well, our winds have turned to the southwest. They're light now, but they will be picking up as we go into the afternoon hours. And as we're looking at the satellite picture, you can see we're looking at, we'll call it partly cloudy skies, kind of mid to high level clouds, kind of a milky overcast building in, but we're looking at mostly sunny conditions as high pressure is beginning to slide away and the flow around that high coming in out of the southwest. So the winds will pick up today and the humidity will drop as well. That's why we're concerned about fire danger and elevated fire danger. So be aware of that. There is a stronger warm front back to the west, and that will usher in even warmer air as we go into tomorrow. With a cold front across the Midwest, this triggered severe weather across the upper Midwest yesterday, but now it's just showers from the Great Lakes back into Missouri, some storms along this front. But I think this is going to weaken as it heads our way. The front will move through, but it's going to lose a lot of its moisture as it does. And you can see those storms trailing all the way back into Texas. But once again, this front is bumping into a lot of dry air, so it will tend to weaken as it moves to the east. So futurecast this morning, 6 a.m., cool out the door with temperatures around 50 degrees, close to 70 already by 10 a.m. as those winds are picking up out of the southwest. Cooler for you at the coast with low to mid 60s, and then I think by mid-afternoon around 66 in Bethany Beach, 64 in Dewey, and getting pretty windy as well, both along the coast and inland areas where we'll be in the upper 70s from Salisbury to Millsboro, around 79 in Georgetown. I'm sure somebody is going to hit 80 degrees before it's all said and done. For this evening, breezy and mild with temperatures into the mid-60s. In fact, pretty mild overnight as we stay in the 60s. By Wednesday morning, we're going to see some clouds and breezy conditions. We are going to see a front coming through, a cold front, but not a lot in the way of colder air behind it as we're looking at upper 70s late morning tomorrow, 60s and 70s at the beaches, and temperatures in the lower 80s as we head into the afternoon tomorrow. Some 70s where it could be a little cloudier, 60s and 70s at the beaches. And then we go into Wednesday evening, and we're looking at partly cloudy skies and then cooler 50s as we head into Thursday morning, as those winds picking up this afternoon, at times gusting 25 to maybe 30 miles per hour as well. That's why it's important to not burn because of the elevated fire and the lower humidity. And then we'll see those winds swing around to the east. That'll bring in some more moisture as we go into Wednesday evening. I want to fast forward to Friday because it looks like our shower chances do increase at that time. Maybe some spotty showers as we go into Friday, but then into the weekend, looks like maybe more important rain builds in, maybe steady to some heavy rain as we go into Saturday night, and Sunday morning. I know it's not the best timing, but it looks like it could be a little unsettled as we head into that time period. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 79 today with mostly sunny skies, 82 and partly cloudy on Wednesday. Then Thursday, 75, partly cloudy. Some showers possible on Friday, 83. I think a better chance of showers on Saturday, 76, and a little cooler by Sunday morning, down to 49. And then cooler yet on Sunday, a few lingering showers, 70 degrees, and then lower 70s into Monday with a few showers. And congratulations to Robert Thomas from Long Neck on winning a brand new umbrella from Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling and Coast TV.
All right, thank you, Bob. And happening today, the Food Bank of Delaware at Milford is hosting a spring senior health fair. The fair will have 30 vendors to help with health and wellness guidance. Participants will also receive free pantry items to bring home. This will be the second year the Food Bank holds the event, and they say it is taking place with high demand from the community.
The first year we did it was super popular. We had close to 200 seniors who came out to get information. We had great response from community organizations to participate. So we wanted to do it again because the first year was so successful.
And the fair is free. It'll run from 10 a.m. to noon. For more information on this event and what vendors will be in attendance, you can head over to coasttvnews.com.
New bill introduced in the Delaware General Assembly aims to keep people in their homes. Senate Bill 116 would allow renters who are facing eviction due to unpaid rent to stay in the home, this as long as they pay what's owed before they're evicted. That bill is being assigned to the Senate Housing and Land Use Committee.
Up next, plans for 5 Points, why progress in Lewis might take longer than expected. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
DelDOT continues its work on a long-term plan to improve traffic around the 5 Points intersection near Lewis. Ideas include roundabouts, upgraded traffic lights, and safer options for people walking and biking. There was a workshop about the 5 Points transportation study today at Cape Henlopen High School. DelDOT officials say they are nearing phase 2 of that study.
This effort specifically kind of looks at a lot of different other efforts. Certainly, there's our capital transportation program, which has projects in it that are lined up through the next 10, 15 years or so. And the first, 6 or so years of that are actually kind of set up with different phases of funding.
DelDOT tells Coast TV there is no set timeline for any of these projects.
Rough week? You can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. Sign up now for free at coasttv.com/signup and get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Fridays.
Matt, as it gets warmer, that sun gets brighter, you need to wear a really strong SPF, yes?
Yes?
Yes.
So what I'm hearing is
at least 50?
50 or 15? Because I usually go with 15.
5-0.
1-5.
5-0.
5-0. That's
at least.
I don't know, Bob. I feel like 15, umbrella, T-shirt,
I'm just
hat.
looking out for you.
I appreciate that.
I think you're poking the bear a little bit too, Elisa. But wear the sunscreen today. And if you're out boating, we also have a small craft advisory until Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. It's going to be a little choppy out there. Southwest winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour at times. There's your UV index. It's moderate. Fenwick Island today and Ocean City starting out in the 50s, but warming into the 60s to close to 70 degrees in Fenwick Island. Waves around 2 to 4 feet. And there will be some whitecaps heading up to Cape May on the ferry from Lewis. Upper 70s there. there with mid-70s in Rehoboth with mostly sunny skies. On the bay side, 1 to 2 foot waves with 50s early on in Cambridge and then mid-70s for highs. A little cooler in Crisfield with a high around 73 degrees. We're looking at even warmer temperatures for the week ahead, above normal temperatures, some rain chances heading into the weekend. More on your forecast coming up in the next half hour.
After the break on CoastTV News today, Sussex Fraud Safety will tell you how police say you can protect yourself from becoming a victim of fraud.
Also, North Star discussion closes. What to expect today about the proposed Lewis development.
And mixed reviews as President Trump reaches 100 days in office. We'll tell you why not everyone is singing his praises.
Now on CoastTV News.
Immigration in focus as President Trump promotes his accomplishments during the first 100 days of his second term. Democrats push back on his policies.
North Star Next Steps, a development promoting affordable housing near Lewis, gets reviewed today by Sussex County Council.
Cruise control, the traffic measures going into effect ahead of cruising Ocean City.
More warmth and wind for Delmarva today as temperatures top out near 80 degrees and the winds pick up. Above normal temperatures the rest of the week with the rain chances increasing by Friday. Details coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
April 29th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
Time is 5:29. We're tracking a really good-looking Tuesday today.
We are. And I noticed you're happier today. Is that because Bob said 80 degrees? I know that makes you happy.
It might have something to do with it.
I know.
I
know
do
you're
like
excited.
Those warm temperatures.
I think we all do. And Bob, yesterday afternoon was beautiful, so I'm excited for today after work.
Absolutely. I just want to clarify. I said near 80 today. Actually went 79 degrees, but somebody will hit 80. I know we're splitting hairs here, getting a little picky, but it's going to be a beautiful day. As we're looking at temperatures much warmer this morning than yesterday morning, about 10 degrees warmer. Instead of upper 30s and lower 40s, it's 40s to around 50 in Dagsboro, 55 in Lewis and Rehoboth, 48 in Georgetown, 49 in Millsboro out the door. There are some cooler spots like Redden at 43 and Willards at 44. So it's cool out there. We are looking at a southwesterly breeze that's light right now, but that will be picking up as we go through the day. We're seeing some high clouds building in right now, but it's still mainly clear as high pressure is sliding offshore, the flow around that high coming in out of the southwest. You can see this band of clouds moving across the mid-Atlantic. There are some clear spots behind it, so I'm thinking a mostly sunny day with even warmer air to the southwest. A cold front back to our west has clouds and showers, but that's going to weaken as it starts to head our way. So this morning we do have a quick warm up through the 50s into the mid 60s by mid morning, and that wind picking up. As I mentioned earlier, elevated fire danger. So I know we have burn bans in place, and we're not going to really see any rain till the weekend. So be careful out there. Mid 70s at noon and then upper 70s close to 80 as we go into the afternoon hours, but cooler and breezier at the beaches with temperatures into the 60s there, and then looking pretty mild this evening, but on the breezy side with temperatures into the 60s and 70s. Everybody's back to school now. Hit the books, kids. Off to school, 48. Make sure they have a heavier jacket. Onto the school bus, cool and dry, and then heading home, breezy and warmer, and a temperature of 76.
Thank you, Bob. And we are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. President Trump is marking 100 days in office with plans to highlight the incredible pace of implementing several key pieces of his agenda. And this is our top story this half hour. Immigration and government waste are two of those areas. President Trump today marking his 100th day in office with a rally in Michigan. As his tariffs hit the auto industry hard, Trump officials say the president is planning to reduce some fees on foreign auto parts for cars assembled in the U.S. However, on the immigration front, the administration touts a 95% drop in illegal border crossings in March from the same time last year.
We have the most secure border in the history of this nation.
The moms did not feel that they had any choice in the matter. They were simply told that their U.S. citizen children were going with them.
President Trump pressing ahead with 3 new executive orders on immigration, including one cracking down on sanctuary cities.
On Monday, the Super Bowl champion Eagles visited the White House. President Trump celebrated the Eagles, calling the Birds an incredible group of champions. The president also weighed in on some NFL rules, endorsing the Eagles' signature tush push and criticizing the new kickoff rules. Important to note that a number of starting players were not in attendance, including quarterback Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith.
This morning, we could see the next step for a proposed development west of Lewis. It's a proposal submitted by North Star Property LLC. This calls for over 750 more homes, nearly 100 apartments, and almost 110,000 square feet of commercial space. The Sussex County Council announced a closure of record for the conditional use of that land between Beaver Dam Road and Route 9. The developer is promoting it as an opportunity to increase affordable housing. County Council meets today at 10 a.m. And on Thursday, Ocean City will be holding its 35th annual Cruise in Ocean City event. With thousands of fancy cars and even more people making their way to the town, a special event zone will be in place. From today until May 4th, all speed limits in Ocean City will be 30 miles an hour or lower, and you'll see more cops than usual. If you do end up getting pulled over, the town says fines will be bigger.
Keeping your funds free from fraud in Bethany Beach. Today, the town's police department will host a seminar on how to protect yourself from scams. Overall, Delawareans are no stranger to scams and frauds. According to state officials, the #1 type of scam in Delaware is imposter scams, with over 2,000 reported in 2024. Today's program takes place at the South Coastal Public Library at 2 p.m.
Delaware State Police are continuing to investigate a shooting in Selbyville. Troopers say on Sunday night around 10 p.m., they responded to Siegel Road for reports of gunshots. According to the agency, a home on that street was shot at, but no one inside was hurt. Troopers say witnesses confirm 3 cars drove away after the sound of those gunshots.
New this morning, we're expecting to learn more about road projects planned for Ocean City. Right now, we're tracking over 5 separate ones, including a bike and pedestrian study covering the area 15th Street to 62nd Street, Ocean City Expressway's long-term needs. And there's also a resurfacing plan from 60th Street to the Delaware State line. The Maryland State Highway Administration spring update is scheduled during this afternoon's Mayor and Council workshop.
Today, you can learn more about bike and pedestrian improvements in Georgetown. DelDOT will conduct a public workshop to explain proposed upgrades and take in feedback. The department says the session begins with an open house and a time period to ask questions with project members. This takes place at 4:30 at the Georgetown Public Library. And President Donald Trump is set to visit Michigan today. He's scheduled to hold a rally marking his 100th day in office. Michigan is known for its auto industry, and Detroit is nicknamed Motor City.
Head of the visit, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, hinting at potential good news for automakers. And as Amy Kiley shows us, that hint comes as they prepare for another new tariff.
We're hearing from a lot of different sectors.
The Trump administration is indicating it has reached a deal with automakers involving tariffs. They face a potential 25% duty on most parts that's been slated to begin by Saturday. It's in addition to the tariffs already in place for steel, aluminum, and almost all imported vehicles. The Commerce Secretary says the auto deal rewards, quote, companies who manufacture domestically while providing runway to manufacturers who have expressed their commitment to invest in America. It's unclear what that means, but in a statement, GM's CEO says she's grateful to President Donald Trump. His tariffs often appear fluid.
He's fearless in fighting for every American because these things will benefit our economy and will benefit every American.
Another trade policy change this week involves Chinese imports worth $800 or less. They're set to lose their tariff exemption Friday. Some Chinese e-commerce companies say they've increased prices for U.S. customers as a result. A new poll suggests Americans don't like paying more for products as a result of tariffs. The CNN survey shows 59% of respondents think Trump has made the U.S. economy worse. It also backs up other polls indicating his overall approval rating is stumbling.
And this Trump poll from CNN just spells trouble for the Trump presidency, part 2.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Beijing denies it's involved in trade talks with the U.S. despite President Trump's claim otherwise.
Got a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Roundabout Rename will tell you why officials in Salisbury say one community member was so deserving of this honor.
Also, successful start to series. The Orioles score early, they hang on late in a win over the Yankees.
And First Time for Art will tell you what's new about this event at Love Creek Elementary School. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
Just about 5:40 on our Tuesday morning. Sun's up in about a half hour. Starting to see brightening skies on the Dry-Tech cam right now. 56 degrees. A little milder at the coast. Indian River Inlet 54. Rehoboth and Bethany Beach both at 55. And then 40s to around 50 inland areas. So a little warmer this morning than yesterday morning, as we do have a southwesterly breeze. There are some high clouds out there. Otherwise, I'm expecting a mostly sunny day. High pressure sliding away. We're getting into a southwesterly flow, so most places inland will be into the 70s. There is a cold front back to our west, but that is weakening. But that front will be heading our way tomorrow with limited moisture. Here's your ferry riding forecast for today. The winds picking up, temperatures warming up through the 50s into the 60s as we go through the morning hours. By afternoon, winds gusting over 25 miles per hour with a small craft advisory. First Alert Weather Phone. Call it for your latest forecast. Sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico.
New this morning, parents, teachers, and students are celebrating a recent art show at Love Creek Elementary. This marked the first ever event to be student-led, and according to the Cape Henlopen School District, each student created a painting that hung on the wall of the gym where that event was held. There was also a number of clay pieces, and the school district says the material for the clay came from the Cape Henlopen Educational Foundation grant.
He like me can love to you.
That was local musician and chef Paul Cullen, and on Monday it was announced his former band, Bad Company, will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this fall. Cullen was the band's bassist from 1990 to 1994. We caught up with him after the nominations to the Hall of Fame were announced, and he showed us some of his memorabilia.
Me back in 1991, I had long flowing black hair, and now I'm just happy I have hair. And then this was our tour jacket, leather jacket, Bad Company. That's the tour that I did, Holy Water. And that's one of my favorites. That's our U.S. Marshal badge. It has my name on there, Outlaw Paul. And then I got a gold record for helping promote Holy Water on that tour.
Cullen runs a nonprofit now. He's not one of the 4 band members who will be inducted, but he says it's been a long time coming for his former bandmates. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony is on November 8th.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Well, it hasn't been the fastest start in Orioles history, but I'm sure last night felt good for many fans out in Birdland. Baltimore beginning its series against the Yankees. Tomoyuki Sugano already staked to a 1-0 lead. Here gets Trent Grisham on a splitter. Paul Goldschmidt step on up, blows him away low and in. Then Jazz Chisholm, he's gone fishing. Sugano with 8 strikeouts in 5 scoreless innings. Bottom 3 we go. Ryan O'Hearn serving up a tater to right, triple order. It's a 3-run shot. Cal Ripken Jr. loves it. Baltimore in front 4-0 on the Yanks. Top 5, we mentioned Sugano went 5 scoreless, right? It's because Cedric Mullins can flat out fly. The former Shorebird takes a home run away from Goldschmidt. Still 4-0. Take another look. He has made a career out of making these plays look routine. To the 8th we go. Gregory Soto on to protect a 4-1 Baltimore lead. Anthony Volpe slashes the ball down the right field line. That's going to score a run for the Yankees. It's now a 4-2 game, and the tying run is coming to the plate. Next batter, Austin Wells, finds the gap in right center. That'll score Volpe. All of a sudden, it's white knuckle time. We head to the 9th. Felix Bautista, power on power, and the Mountain says case closed. He gets Aaron Judge and Cody Bellinger as Baltimore wins it 4-3. That's it for sports.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 3, NCAA baseball. Salisbury University takes on Hood College. Then catch the final score at 10:30. On the DSN Plus app, you get that college baseball game along with high school baseball. Queen Anne's going up against Easton. Kent Island hosts North Carolina in softball. Those games are at 4. At 4:15, you have Laurel against Woodbridge in baseball. And also at that time, Sussex Tech travels to Cesar Rodney in high school baseball.
They say everything old is new again, especially in Hollywood. And David Daniel has our entertainment roundup in today's Hollywood Minute.
This is Detective Crockett, Miami-Dade PD, patching through to your sack. The 2006 movie Miami Vice wasn't very arresting at the box office, but Universal is trying again with another film based on the iconic 80s TV series. Top Gun Maverick director Joseph Kosinski is set to helm the new movie about undercover detectives in South Florida. No casting announcements yet. Here's a treat for Johnny Cash fans, courtesy of his daughter. The Cindy Cash collection is one of the largest ever auctions of the legendary singer-songwriter's personal possessions, including rare photographs of Cash and his family, furniture like this hand-carved dragon bed, and jewelry, including this natural blue and white diamond ring in 14-karat gold. The auction runs through Sunday. More info at cindycash.com.
It was an accident. The truck was transporting a Fresnel lens. A what? It sits on top of the lighthouse, spins around.
A traumatized musician finds himself drawn to an old lighthouse in I'm Beginning to See the Light. Jack Houston, Abby Cornish, and Brandon T. Jackson star in the drama, which arrives on digital and VOD platforms Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
We're starting to see brightening skies now on the Tidal Health Cam. Blue skies, some cloudiness, 47 in Salisbury. Warming up today with more wind as well. Near 80 today, low 80s Wednesday, then above normal the rest of the week. Some increasing rain chances end of the week into the weekend. Your full forecast details in 2 minutes.
The time is now 5:48, and we are taking a live look outside at Dover this morning. And Bob, you just said my favorite word a few minutes ago, pollen. Yes.
Oh, I'm guessing that's sarcasm.
It's not, no. It's, yes, it is. It's not, does not treat me well, that's for sure.
No, it doesn't treat me well either, Elisa, as we're looking at the higher tree pollen and the allergy suffering continues as it's dry today and increasingly windy. So trees like oak, ash, birch, and maple all recording high levels of tree pollen. So if you're suffering from allergies, well, take your medicine and also stay in filtered air if you can. Out the door this morning, we're looking at temperatures much milder than yesterday morning. We started out in the 30s and 40s. We're upper 40s and 50s this morning, so much better. 55 in Lewiston, Rehoboth, and Bethany Beach. Inland, a little chillier, 48 in Delmarva, Georgetown, and Millsboro, waking up to 48 degrees, 44 in Willards, and 43 in Redden right now. Some places, calm conditions, others seeing a bit of a southwesterly breeze, but that southwesterly breeze will pick up during the course of the day. As we're seeing some high clouds right now, and that'll be the case really much of the morning. Otherwise, mostly sunny skies. We have high pressure beginning to slide away. The flow around that high coming in out of the southwest, and we will start to warm things up. And as I mentioned earlier, an elevated fire risk really between now and the end of the weekend. I know we have several burn bans in place, so really be careful out there as even warmer air will be building in. There is a cold front back to our west with showers across the Midwest and the upper Mississippi Valley, but this is starting to dry out as it heads our way. So not a lot of moisture as this front heads our way, but we are seeing more of that rain back into Texas. As Futurecast is showing temperatures in the low 50s this morning with sunshine, some high clouds. By 10 a.m., upper 60s, close to 70 degrees. And we're looking at cooler conditions at the beaches and getting breezy to windy this afternoon at the coast with temperatures in the 60s. You can see the gold color arrows indicating the wind there with upper 70s inland and flirting with 80 degrees a lot of places inland as we go into the 4 o'clock hour while it's breezy and cooler at the beaches. Staying breezy through the evening hours, some clouds increasing overnight, and with the clouds and the wind staying up, it's going to be milder heading into tomorrow morning with lows only into the 60s. And we start out that warm. You know it's going to be a warm afternoon. We do have a cold front coming through, but not cold behind that front. Lower 80s a lot of places as we go into Wednesday afternoon where there are more clouds. Definitely a little cooler into the 70s. As we go into Wednesday evening, more in the way of clouds and a little cooler as we go into Thursday morning with an onshore flow, temperatures in the 50s. And then by Thursday afternoon, we're looking at temperatures a little cooler into the 60s and 70s. But this afternoon, it's a breezy southwest wind, 25 to maybe 30 miles per hour. And then we move into your Wednesday and shifting winds out of the east. So that's definitely good news for the fire danger as more moisture moisture moves in off the Atlantic Ocean. As we move into Friday, still mild with a few showers possible at that time. Then we're moving into the weekend. It looks like a better chance of rain, maybe later Saturday into early Sunday morning. So not a perfect weekend by any stretch, but we do need the rain and not the best timing for that. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 79 today and then 82 on Wednesday. Back to 75 Thursday, some showers on Friday, 83. Looking a little wet into the weekend, especially Saturday, 76. Lingering showers Sunday and Monday with highs in the low 70s.
Thank you, Bob. A special dedication was held Monday to honor the legacy of a Salisbury community member. The downtown roundabout has officially been renamed the Greg Bassett Circle. Bassett was a city official, journalist, and overall devoted member of the community. Bassett was an editor at the Daily Times before creating the Salisbury Independent. He also served on the Greater Salisbury Committee.
Because Greg Bassett became obsessed with the obelisk that's in the middle of it. And so when the roundabout was created, they needed to find a place to put the obelisk. Greg became obsessed with it, and we're like, at his funeral, I kind of suggested, hey, you know what? Since Greg was obsessed over the roundabout and the obelisk, why don't we rename this Greg Bassett Circle?
Greg Bassett's journalistic career spanned more than 40 years. He passed away at the age of 63 back in December of 2023.
The Delaware State Police are honoring Corporal Dennis Kelly nearly 40 years after a helicopter crash during training left him paralyzed. Kelly, who spent decades living with his injuries, passed away last December at the age of 69. This May, his name will be added to the Delaware State Police Memorial in Dover and the Delaware Law Enforcement Memorial on Legislative Mall. Kelly will also be honored nationally in Washington, D.C. next year.
Right now, DENRAC looking for volunteers to help protect beach nesting birds. Volunteers are stationed at near restricted nesting areas to explain the importance of closures and their nesting season. And if this sounds like something you'd like to do, a training session for new participants is going to be held on May 3rd at Cape Henlopen State Park.
The time is now 5:53, and we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Today's coastal pet of the day comes to us from the Brandywine Valley SPCA. Right there on your screen, that's Chickpea.
Oh.
Such a cutie. This little darling loves to play all day with feathers, loves to push his toys under the doors. I get that as being a cat owner myself. If you want to adopt Chickpea or any other lovable pet, head on over to the Brandywine Valley SPCA.
Look at those eyes.
I know.
So cute. We want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
That is where you'll find the QR code at the top there. Scan that, submit your friends to us at CoastTV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
It is 5:57, and we're going to check in with First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey again.
Bob, tracking some warmer, emphasis on part of warmer weather today.
Part is important, yes, warmer as we go into today and then especially into tomorrow. But today we're looking at some high clouds, elevated fire danger. Watch for that. Gusty southwest winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour and a big warm up close to 80 inland today, but cooler at the beaches. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, even warmer on Wednesday. Partly cloudy, 82, back to 75 Thursday, and then 83, some showers on Friday. I think those showers continue into the weekend, especially Saturday, 76. Lingering showers Sunday into Monday with lower 70s. We keep those temperatures in the 70s next week. Maybe another rain chance by Wednesday.
Bob, and coming up in our next hour, tackling traffic in Ocean City. What to expect this week with Cruise and OC, as well as long-term plans for the beach town. That and more on Coast TV News Today continues.